What's up, Conference USA fans? Welcome into the first episode of our 2026 CUSA Football Preview Series here on the CUSA Insider Pod. I'm Josh Yonis, serving as a host for today's episode. We're going to start off with a very special guest. We have Scott Klatzkin, voice of the Delaware Blue Hens, entering his 15th season as the voice of the Blue Hens, working with football and men's basketball. Scott, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on. This really jumpstart my preparation for this season. We're still in the summer here, so this gives me a chance to take a look at the roster and talk some football. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, happy to help. So just to give everyone a little bit more insight, we talked about this on last week's episode, but this is the third annual preview series that we're doing here on the podcast. So starting with the Delaware Fightin Blue Hens, largely because there's not a whole lot of question marks, to be honest. One of the leaders in Conference USA in returning production, bringing back preseason Offensive Player of the Year Nick Minicucci, coming off of a great FBS debut season in 2025. So really just going to highlight a lot of what, some of the great things that Delaware was able to do last year and how you guys can build on that in 2026. So first FBS season in the books for you, Scott. When you think back on 2025, what stands out as the biggest accomplishment for the university?
Yeah, I think the obvious answer is winning the 68 Ventures Bowl in year one, becoming the second team in FBS history to win a bowl game in your first FBS season. That's a fantastic accomplishment. So that's the obvious answer. But I think if you look at it as a whole, as a big picture, like proving to themselves, proving to the fan base, proving to the community, like this was a good idea because there was plenty of doubt prior to this season. I think this is a historic program. This has a great fan base, but there are some that like the idea of being in a playoff, that liked being where they were and being in FCS football. And, I got a ton of, go back to this time of year, a year ago, of like, good luck being 3-9, good luck winning 4 games. See how that goes for you. There was some doubt from some of the fan base. And I think it proved that not only can Delaware continue to be a winning program, but they're going to do it immediately. And I think for those fans, there's no like, I told you so. It's just, hey, if you weren't on board, welcome back. This is fun. We're having a good time here. And I think also like going to a bowl game, you don't know until you know. I had no idea the pomp and circumstance surrounding a bowl game experience. It is so neat, from the Mardi Gras parade to opening ceremony, the game itself, the charity work they do. They're out there for a while, that they treat them like it is such a special event as it is. And I think going to that year one, as opposed to building towards it, there might have been a conversation of like, well, what's so special about a bowl game? Well, now it's like, well, let me tell you what's so special about it. Really neat experience. And I'm glad that they got to do that immediately.
Yeah, and you guys got a little spoiled. I mean, as you mentioned, some of the culture around that area with the 68 Ventures Bowl, a lot of people may not know. You threw it out there, Mardi Gras. You say Mardi Gras, people think New Orleans, Louisiana. Mobile, Alabama, I think they claim to be the birthplace of Mardi Gras. So
that's what they claimed, and they certainly allowed us to be a part of their festivities, which was really neat.
Yeah, for sure. So what is it that you think was, made you guys able to make that transition so smoothly in year one? I know that you brought in a lot of talent going from the FCS to FBS. You had a proven head coach in Ryan Carty. You kind of have a lot of the infrastructure there with the university, with the investment from administration. But what do you think you saw led to that last year?
Well, I think you said it, and I think it starts with Ryan Carty. I mean, this guy is a winner. Whether it was when he was at Delaware, he was part of a national championship football team early on, so we got to see what winning looked like, what a winning culture looked like as a freshman in college. And he's been coaching a while now. He has never had a losing record as a head coach or an assistant coach, and he's been coaching a while now. You look at what he did as an offense coordinator at New Hampshire, went to the playoffs every season that he was offensive coordinator. At Sam Houston State, he goes there and they win a national championship. At the University of Delaware, they've made the playoffs in FCS or a bowl game now in all 3 seasons that they have been eligible. And the one year they weren't eligible because of the transition, they still won 9 games. So he is a winner, and I think he was not going to let the team be okay with just competing in year one. He set the tone for that team, and I think they follow his winning attitude. I think that was a big part of it. And then I think as the season went on, or going into the season this time a year ago, again, there was a quarterback battle. It sounds silly that the preseason player of the year on offense, Nick Minicucci, was not our starting quarterback a season ago. And unfortunately, Zach Marker went down. We wish him the best, except for on November 14th. He's at FIU now, representing Conference USA still. But Nick Minicucci would have played, but how much would he have played? Would it have been a rotation? I don't know. We didn't have to find out. I think having the solidified quarterback position throughout the season really allowed Nick to shine.
Now that the can Delaware compete conversation is settled, right? Year one, won a bowl game. We're in the CUSA title race for maybe a little bit of the season. How has the conversation around the program changed going into year two? I know you mentioned some of the perspective with the fan base, like a lot of them kind of went away and now they're coming back. But just internally, what are those conversations like?
Yeah, and I think it starts with the person that's driving the conversations around University of Delaware, and that is the administration. Like Jordan Skolnick is the athletic director now. This, I believe, will be his first football season without the interim tag on his name. And you talk about a guy that gets it, that knows what Delaware is going to need to win in this next evolution of college athletics, this next generation of college football, and how it all works. There's no one better to be at the top at Delaware than Jordan Skolnick. So I think that's really important. The belief is there from him, and it trickles down from there. I think the conversation internally hasn't necessarily changed. Like these guys, I said, it didn't go into last season looking to compete and win 4 games. They wanted to compete for a championship, compete for a bowl game. So the conversation internally maybe hasn't changed. Externally, I think it really has changed. You mentioned this is my 15th season as the voice of the Blue Hens. I've been so lucky to do that. But like you would think to my friends and family, I was a rookie. This is my first time. I'm getting text messages for the first time. Like, hey, saw the Blue Hens. Hey, you have tickets. Now, it's like, hey, I've been doing this for a while. I've had tickets for the last 14 years. But, so I think whether that's because of success, because of the national broadcasts that they're on, because of EA Sports, whatever it might be, the conversation is certainly a positive one.
Yeah, that's awesome. As I mentioned at the top, one of the leaders, if not number one, in returning production in CUSA. Where do you think that continuity will show up the most for the Fightin' Blue Hens this season?
I think it's an advantage in itself just to have continuity, right? You think about not just for football, but really for any job. Think about, you might have a great new hire at the office, but like you still got to show them around. You still got to show them how the system works. You still have to show them, where you make the coffee. And it does take a little while to get things going, no matter how talented that person that you just hired may be. And that goes the same thing like NIL, transfer portal. It is great for the players. It isn't always necessarily great for a program as they try to jump right into things. And I think that's where Delaware is going to have an advantage. 92% of eligible returning starters are back. That's 92% of the team that started that had a choice to come back, chose to come back. And I think that really goes to show just how special a place it is in Newark, Delaware. And so when the team gets together in the summer, they're not going to have those weeks or those practices where they are learning the system. Now it's like, we know the system. How are we going to excel in it? How are we going to get better? And I think that's a huge advantage for a football team.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's dive in on Nick Minicucci a little bit. We can highlight all the numbers we want, but let's talk a little bit more about the intangibles. What makes Nick such a difficult quarterback to defend?
Yeah, I mean, and those numbers are impressive. He finished second all-time in a single season at Delaware last year in terms of passing yards in a season to Joe Flacco, Netflix star on quarterback right now. But, one of the all-time greats. That's pretty impressive category to be in. I think what makes him different is the preparation and how much film he's going to watch. His notepad is always full. He's going to work the extra hours so that on game day, it feels natural. He's not going to be out prepared going into a game. And I think that's really impressive stuff. And then I think another thing that allows him to put up some of the numbers, and Coach Carty talks about it much better than I'll be able to, but he talks about balance isn't necessarily run the ball 50% of the time, pass the ball 50% of the time. It's, can we throw the ball when we need to throw the ball? Can we run the ball when we need to run the ball. And so if Nick Minicucci is throwing the ball well, he's not going to stop that flow. I think of like Conference USA, that no limit on us. There's no limit on Nick. If he needs to throw the ball 40 times in the game, he's going to do that. He was second in pass attempts in college football a season ago. And so he has a quarterback coach that was a quarterback that believes in the quarterback. And if he's rolling, he is not going to be held back. And so you're going to see, hopefully again, for Nick and this program, some really impressive numbers.
I'm just going to shamelessly tell our producer Dane to put a mark on that one. That's going to be the social media clip for the episode when we put it out.
I do like it.
Outside of Nick, who are a couple other names who you think by the end of the year will be household names?
Two guys that I was so pleased that came back. I talk about starters choosing to come back and what makes this a very special place. But when Nick came back, that was huge. But when Sean Wilson returned to Delaware, I thought that was just such it's going to be so important for this offense. Sean Wilson came in as a true freshman, played one game. In that first game that he ever played, he caught 2 passes, both for touchdowns. And it's like, all right, well, who is this guy? That's all he did is his first year. Now as a redshirt freshman a season ago, he absolutely shattered Delaware's rookie receiving records. We're talking 25, 30-year-old records for most catches and touchdowns. And so Sean Wilson is a big name to watch out for. I think he's going to be able to explode this year. Delaware got a couple of really good or should be really good transfer wide receivers as well as part of that group. But I think he's going to have a big year. He's got a game in his hometown of Alpharetta, Georgia this season versus Kennesaw State. So circle that one on the calendar. I think Sean will go off on that one. And then I'll give you a name on defense. KT Say. If you haven't heard the name yet, you are going to know it by the end of the year. He has been doing things on a high level since he got here. He has started 34 games for Delaware going into another year. So those are two guys. When they came back, I thought, wow, it's really special what Delaware's doing here.
Yeah, I mean, he's one that, I certainly hear his name a lot, especially you fast forward a little bit to next spring when you start talking about draft, preparations, a long corner, long defensive back who can make a lot of plays, certainly could be a name for people to watch.
And Delaware, I know we talk about the quarterbacks at Delaware, but Delaware's had success of getting safeties and DBs into the NFL as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I know we talked a lot of positive stuff. What do you think is the biggest hurdle for Delaware to be able to get over that hump this year and truly compete and play and win a CUSA title?
I think that Delaware Stadium and Conference USA teams are learning that, or learned last season, is such a tough place to play. It's such an advantage to play in Newark for this team. They brought it at home. They were 5-1 at home last season. You got to take that and bring it on the road. A 1-5 road record. Travel was different this year, and not necessarily more difficult. They're flying in and out as most teams do, but the locations are different. So whatever the reasons were, Delaware did not have success on the road. And obviously to compete for a championship or to be bowl competitive again, you're going to have to get those wins on the road as well. So I think that's a hurdle that Delaware will have to improve on. They're going to have to improve on defense a bit. Some of the stats were not great looking towards the bottom or at the bottom, and pass yards allowed and points and total yards. And so I think there are some things that Delaware's going to have to tighten up on the defensive side of things. And then Delaware did only lose one starter to transfer, but it was a big one on the offensive line. And Anwar O'Neal was a great player for Delaware. They also lost a first team all-conference offensive lineman in Finton Brose. Patrick Shupp was a veteran. It's nice to have Steven Mboski back at center. He's a captain, but I think there's going to be some changes on the offensive line, and then so Delaware will just have to work through those changes as well.
Yeah, well, and certainly another storyline to pencil that Kennesaw Delaware game, because having to go on the road to the defending Conference USA champions. So definitely another reason to tune into that one. If we're talking in December, what would a successful season look like for the Blue Hens?
Well, check back with me in that first weekend of October and not December, because that first month for Delaware, you look at their non-conference and then going right into conference play. I mean, it's a tough schedule. You look at teams that finished number 15th and number 16th in the nation last year on Delaware's schedule: at Vanderbilt, at Virginia, Coastal Carolina at home. That's always a very successful program. And then Liberty, who was the consensus pick in that Conference USA Bowl Conference Index Bowl. And so that's Delaware. That's 4 of Delaware's first 5 games are going to be really competitive. So you've got to get off to a good start. I think last year that UConn game really propelled them. If Delaware can get one of those, to get the Coastal Carolina game, I think that'll be a huge way to get them going. But obviously, I don't think you put a number on it. I think, but going into year 2, whether it's fortunately or unfortunately, because Delaware did so well year 1, the expectations now are to repeat that and to not go backwards. And so I think if year 1, as everyone expected, maybe if Delaware won 4 games, now this year we say, hey, if we make a bowl game, that would be fantastic. And I think now, because Delaware not only made a bowl game, but won a bowl game last year, those now are the expectations for our fan base. But ultimately, it's what does the team believe they can do? And I know they believe they can compete for a championship, and they believe they can compete to play another bowl game.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of nice to be ahead of schedule on things like that sometimes.
Absolutely.
Finally, for fans around Conference USA, you alluded to how special it is playing at Delaware Stadium. What makes a game day in Newark, Delaware so special and so unique?
I mean, game days are just fantastic in Newark. The fan base is so passionate. I think year 1 in a new conference, are the fans going to show out? They always have. They always will. Delaware, I believe, was like one of only 3 teams in Conference USA with over 100,000 fans in attendance last season, and that's in the first year in the conference. So it shows you the passion that they're bringing to this league. But I have thought about this before, because I've traveled and I've really enjoyed my journeys in Conference USA in year 1. So make it a whole trip. If you're in Conference USA and you're one of those teams, this is as far east as you're going to get an opportunity to do. So make it a whole trip out east. You're going to fly into Philly, and then you're going to get a cheesesteak. I don't know where, but you're going to get a cheesesteak wherever you want. You can decide who has the best cheesesteaks. Another episode. Maybe the Sixers are playing. Maybe LeBron James is playing now. And I think, for media members, we actually have to mention LeBron James for another week. And if you're in the Philadelphia area, so that's all the talk of the town around here. But maybe you can see a Sixers game. New York City is a 3-hour drive, where there's a train station right by Delaware Stadium that can take you right up to the city. So you can see New York City. And then when you get to Newark, you're going to go to Main Street, one of the best main streets in the country, I would say. Get a Bobby sandwich, go to Klondike Kate's. If you're here on a Wednesday, come to the coach's show. I'll buy you a drink. And then go to the Delaware game. The tailgate's fantastic, enthusiastic fans, kind fans. They'll bring you right in. You'll have a blast with that. And then hang around on Sunday. We've got football teams in the area. Check out Washington, D.C., the monuments, the museums, the Ravens, the Commanders, the Eagles, the Giants, the Jets. They're all within driving distance, and then head on back. But I think we could make a whole trip out of it. We'd love to see you here in Delaware.
I mean, look at that. Scott's already got your whole itinerary for you. You didn't even need to pay a planning fee.
Yeah. Can we clip that? I want to send that to Delaware Tourism, see if I can get a side gig going.
Yeah, seriously. Well, I can definitely, speak to that. We were just there for softball back in May, and yeah, it's just awesome to be in and out through Philly. We drove over the day before the tournament started, went to a Phillies game. Dane and I are still dreaming about crab fries. They're unreal, man. But yes, great spot. 45-minute drive to get out to Newark. We stayed right there off Main Street. It was awesome. So yes, everybody put it on your bucket list to get out to Newark, Delaware, experience all of that Scott just mentioned, and get out to a Delaware Fightin Blue Hens game. Go watch them, just play some really great football.
Yeah, welcome back. And whenever you can come back, we'll have you here in Newark. We look forward to it. We're really looking forward to the season. I think we had such a great experience ahead of schedule in FBS year 1, and the excitement is probably at an all-time high in Newark. We love being a part of this conference and doing year 2. We're excited to be a part of it.
That's awesome. Well, Scott, perfect way to kick off our football preview series here on the CUSA Insider Pod. Best of luck this season, and again, really appreciate the time this morning.
All right, thanks so much. Thanks for having me, Josh.
Thanks so much to Scott Klatzkin, voice of the Fightin' Blue Hens, for joining us for our media portion of our preview episode, highlighting the University of Delaware. Next up, we've got our interview that Sarah Rudolph did with head coach Ryan Carty, quarterback Nick Minicucci, and defensive end Noah Matthews at the 2026 USA Football Kickoff.
What's up, Conference USA fans? Welcome into a very special episode here of CUSA Insider, the official podcast of Conference USA. We are here at the 2026 CUSA kickoff at Texas Live, getting geared up for the 2026 football season. And starting things off here, we've got Delaware football in the house. Welcome, guys. Thank you for joining us. We've got head coach Ryan Carty, quarterback Nick Minicucci, and defensive end Noah Matthews. Thank you guys so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for having us.
Appreciate you having us. We're excited.
Oh, we are very excited too. I mean, first year, right out of the gate in Conference USA, you have a 7-6 season, a bowl win to cap it off. Tell me a little bit about how you guys are going to one-up that this year and capitalize off of a great first season in Conference USA.
Yeah, well, I think obviously the hope is that, we take this thing one day at a time like we did that got us there in the first place, and, hopefully rely on the things that have got us here and, up until this point, and then continue to work our butts off. And hopefully we can continue to upgrade and level up our program as we continue going forward in Conference USA.
All right, Noah and Nick, I have to ask, and I want you guys to be honest. Last year, were you surprised how well you guys did, or in your first year in Conference USA, but also in your first year in the FBS, taking down some huge opponents in FBS football? Were you surprised? Were you pleasantly surprised on how things turned out, or it was going to go that way all year long?
I was not surprised at all.
Yeah, I would say I wasn't surprised at all. You just trust in your training, and you can take every day one step at a time. And it wasn't no surprise at all what we did.
Yeah, I would also say 7-6 records. Sure, we were a winning record, but there's a lot of games out there that we all want back.
Yeah.
So it's like we're not satisfied. Never been satisfied. Like we're chasing. We all have one common goal on our team. So, and we want to accomplish that this year. So,
absolutely,
7-6 is it was cool for first year FBS, but it's not what we're striving for.
Definitely not satisfied.
It was cool, but not the ultimate goal.
No, absolutely not.
What would you guys say your ultimate goal is this year? I'm sure Conference USA Championship is on the docket for you guys this year, but I'd love to hear about maybe personally what each of your goals is going into this season.
I mean, my personal goals are aligned with the team's goals, so I really just want to win Conference USA and maybe make it to the conference or college football playoffs. I mean, that would be
that's right.
That would be awesome.
Yes, absolutely. What about you, Noah?
Yeah, I would piggyback what Nick said. I wouldn't necessarily say I'm focused on myself. It's more so what the team has and align with the team, and really just trying to get to that Conference USA or college football players.
Absolutely, Coach Carty.
Yeah, I mean, those guys said it right. As long as I think individual goals are great for our guys to have, and we've talked about this a lot. Trying to do our best to make sure we get up every day and put our best foot forward. Those individual goals are going to help us do that and motivate us, but they have to align with our team's goals.
Yeah.
And, our team's goals are about the process and day-to-day, hard work and toughness and competitiveness. And hopefully that takes us where we want to go. And these guys said it right. I think, starting out the season, we can say we want to go win the conference.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, once we realize that once we start going, it's going to be a day-to-day process to get that done and a week-to-week process to get that done. And, and these guys have been great every step of the way, understanding what it takes to win.
Nick, I want to go to you for a second because obviously started out the season, not the starter, but came in, won a ton of games for Delaware. It led Conference USA in 6 different offensive categories when it came to the end of the year. And broke a bunch of records, all of the things. I could run them all off for you, but I'm pretty sure that you know what they are. So you've been named preseason CUSA Offensive Player of the Year. I don't think you're the type of guy that's going to get a big head about it, but there's some standards that have been set last year going into this year that I think people are expecting a lot out of you. How do you manage those expectations? And what are you looking to do as a team on the offensive side of the ball this year?
Well, first off, I'd like to say thank you for nominating me and putting me as Conference USA player or preseason player of the year. I mean, but at the end of the day, it's preseason. I haven't done anything yet. So
yeah,
I kind of look at that and it's like, it's preseason. That doesn't really matter. And I mean, yeah, I had a pretty good year last year, but I mean, I got so much more stuff I want to accomplish that it's last year. It's in the past.
Yeah.
Like I'm moving forward, and me and Coach talk about this all the time. Like I don't care about what I did. Like we have so much more to improve on and work on and get better at. So it's like, why am I going to focus on last year when I can focus on right now? What's in front of me?
Absolutely. And then I don't think it's any secret that I'm sure you got some phone calls from some other institutions just based on how well you did last year. What made you want to stay with Delaware football and the Blue Hen program?
So I don't know. Like I've already answered this a couple of times. Like I was never thinking about leaving. I never wanted to. I mean, this is my home. I mean, Coach took me in as a half scholarship kid. Like I was paying for school my first semester here. So, I mean, just him believing in me and trusting in me, like, why would I ever want to go anywhere else? Especially when I work my tail off. He pushes me to my highest ability and is always honest with me and always want to get me better. So it's like, why would I want to go and play for someone else when I have such a good connection with somebody?
Awesome.
So my reason is this man right here.
Aw, Coach.
Yeah.
How sweet.
Appreciate you, buddy.
Noah, tell me a little bit about the goals on the defensive side of the ball this year. I'm sure that there are some things that have been talked about in the locker room. You guys mentioned you start camp here on August 2nd. What are you all focusing on going into this season?
Well, Coach Carty talks about it a lot. It's the ball, man. The ball is the program. We're going to work on taking the ball away, being disruptive, making turnovers, stuff of that nature. But we're just taking it one step at a time, as Nick said earlier. We're not going to look too far, but we're definitely trying to get one step better, and that's been the main focus.
And I do want to ask you kind of similarly to Nick, you came home to this Delaware program. You're a Delaware guy for your grad year. Tell me a little bit about what brought you into this program.
Well, like you said, I'm from Delaware, man. I love Delaware. I love the camaraderie. Like you can really feel the family here, and that's why so many people stayed and we didn't leave, because it's like, where would you want to go? I love it here.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about staying and not wanting to leave. You've got a national championship ring with the program. I know that that's a goal for you guys going forward, especially now that the CFP playoff opens a door for a group of 5, group of 6, whatever we're calling it these days, team to get in there. What is it? Tell me one thing, Coach, if you could boil it down to one thing that you love about Delaware as a school, Newark as a city. Tell me a little bit about this program and why other Conference USA fans out there should want to visit.
Yeah, I think it's honestly really hard to boil it down to one thing. And I think that's the cool thing about the place that we have. We don't have to focus on one thing. You can have it all. You have a great location, unbelievable academics, football tradition, and just a great community in Newark, Delaware. And so I don't think we have to say this is the one thing, but I will say that people is, if I had to choose one, it would be the people. They genuinely care about the student athlete experience. They genuinely care in the community and at the administrative level in what we do as an athletic department. And that's really exciting because you're coming to work every day and you're putting your best foot forward for the group, for the community. And it's exciting. And obviously having the ability to come back home for me too. I'm from New Jersey, but I went to the University of Delaware and this is my home. And so, it's really prideful for me to hear these guys talk about it in such a great way.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you look at the games on television, you guys know how to pack a stadium there. Tell me a little bit about maybe 1 or 2 game day traditions that someone who's not on the ground there in Newark wouldn't know about. That is kind of some fun, maybe a walkout or something like that.
About me? So one of my crazy traditions I've been doing since 3rd grade, I don't cut my hair during the season.
Okay.
So I just got my last haircut 2 weeks ago.
Wow, and you left it a little long. You got the flow going right now.
A little bit. So I like having my hair long, comes up the back of the helmet.
Okay, gotcha. I love that. That's fun.
For me, I don't have too many crazy traditions, but I like to get out on the field and fill the field. I'll walk out there with out without any cleats and then walk around the field, just pray, get a feel for the field before you get out there and actually have the cleats on the play.
Do you have any that have come over from your time as a player that are still traditions that you keep?
No, I have not. I mean, other than the nerves I get every day, the game starts. Other than that, no, we do our best to kind of try our best in practice to make it as game-like as possible. And we do our best in our scrimmage situation, same thing. And hopefully by the time we kick that thing off, we're just ready to roll.
Absolutely. Well, one more football question, and then we'll get to a little bit more fun stuff. So weekdays CUSA football, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, all through the month of October. I think it's brought a lot of great exposure to programs like Delaware who may not be well known in the college football atmosphere previously. Tell me a little bit about what you guys think about that exposure, maybe coach from a coaching level or recruiting level, and then you guys as players. I know it's difficult to do the turnaround from a Saturday to a Tuesday, but I think it's worth it when you talk about getting the name of the program out there.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, to be honest. I mean, just the sheer numbers that we had in the millions of people, eyeballs on us as a program, and bringing our brand to certain parts of the country that may not have known what University of Delaware was, and not just the brand name, but also the brand of football that we play. And I think it kind of reinforces, the old adage that the athletic department and the football program can be the front porch of a university. And, I think the cool thing about Delaware is that football maybe can open that door, but the university is what is going to have people walk through it. So.
Awesome. What about you guys?
I think the weekdays CUSA is like really cool. I mean, knowing that like now we had the national spotlight, like we're not like Ohio State's playing on Saturdays, like we're playing on Wednesdays. Everyone's watching our games. It feels really good, but at the same time, like could be a little brutal on the internet sometimes.
Sure.
But besides that, I mean, I love it. I really do.
Yeah.
Piggyback off what Nick said, I really like it too. Have that limelight on you rather than splitting time with like another school or something like that. It can be a little hard during the week, with school and stuff like that. But I really like the fact that we have our own day and that the conference gets that exposure.
Yeah. Making Noah Matthews and Nick Minicucci household names, one game at a time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, a couple of fun questions here before I let you guys go. One of my favorite things to ask everybody that comes and sits with me is I'm a foodie myself. So I always want to know, where should I go to eat if I visit Newark, Delaware? Well, you got to give me a 1 spot, 2 spots maybe per person. I need to know where I need to go and what I need to get to eat.
Okay, well, I'll start this off. Hey, I'm a defensive lineman. So
you ready?
If you're going breakfast, you got to try hot bagel. Got to try
hot bagel.
It's
Okay.
Staple in Newark. And then for me, I love Jamaican food. So I'll get like oxtail or something like that. And then there's this place called Triple C's that I go to. Really love.
All right. Oxtails in Newark. Let's do it.
Breakfast, I'm gonna say First Watch.
Okay.
That's my spot.
Gotcha.
You got blueberry cornbread there, and that's
your stuff.
Good,
Okay.
Yeah. And then for lunch, dinner. I mean, I love Kate's. That's my spot. So I go there.
Yep. Well, lucky for you, we have both of those places around here if you need a bite to eat later. So you should be good to go. All right, Coach.
That's a great question. There's so many establishments on Main Street in particular. I agree. A hot bagel does a great job for us. They are pretty darn good. Kate's is a staple for us because it's been there for so long and has that, real college feel to it. I'd say Taverna is probably the one of the better overall restaurants. It's an Italian spot on campus, great ambiance. And a great connection to the program as well. And so you really can't go wrong, to be honest. I mean, the food in the Northeast is pretty outstanding.
All right. One final question for you here before we wrap up. We're getting close on time. I feel like this has flown by. So I want to know, in the locker room, who's the funniest guy? Maybe give me one on the defensive side of the ball and one on the offensive side of the ball to give two guys some love. But I want to know who cuts up in the locker room, who has everybody rolling, laughing on the floor during practice.
During practice or during the locker room?
Oh, those are two different things. Okay. Maybe you can give me one of each because that's funny.
I'd say my buddy Anthony Cachese, we call him Cheese.
Yeah. Cheese.
Yeah,
you got to be funny with a name like Cheese.
He's hilarious. He's hilarious on the field and off the field. He's one of my roommates, one of my good friends. Like, he just makes me cry laughing every day.
Love it.
And for the defense, I'll probably say Don Brunya. Don Brunya. He plays nose guard with me on the D line. He's a really, really funny guy, man. He keeps me going.
Awesome. I always like to hear a coach perspective on who you think the funniest players are.
That's a good point. Would they act much different around us?
No.
For the most part? As they get older in their careers, they get a little bit more, close to us. But, we do have some funny people. Those guys are that they mentioned are very funny. I will say we have a couple coaches that can make people laugh as well.
Okay.
I know Coach Rogers is one of them. He
Yeah.
is very, very funny. Our offensive line coach, he's got a knack for it.
Okay. I feel like you get offensive line coaches that are either super serious or super funny, and there's like no in between. So
That's fair.
Love it. Love it. All right. Last question for you guys before I wrap up. One thing that you're looking forward to most this season, could be on the field, could be off the field. Just give me one thing. We'll go down the line, starting with you, Coach.
I just want to see us play really hard. You know, I think that was the one thing that we proved last year was that you're going to be in for a fight when you lined up against the Blue Hens. And that's all I want. I want, there's going to be a lot of ebbs and flows. There's going to be things that, obviously go well and go poorly for us as throughout a year, just like any season. But I want that to be seen on tape. I want that to be felt through the television that we play really hard and we have great competitors.
Awesome.
For me, I'd say just never quit. Like, that's one of the things I talk about so much with the team is just never quit. Because there's been so many games where we were down. And we just kept crawling back, kept fighting, never quit. And we have that mentality right now. And I think that's going to carry us this season, even in tight games and just even if we're winning, just never quit. Keep pushing forward and keep putting points on the board and honestly just hitting somebody in the mouth.
All right. I mean, a quarterback hitting somebody in the mouth. I like this. Okay.
See, for me, it's more so just playing for my state again, man. I'm ready to put on for the state again, show people that Delaware has some good football out there.
Awesome. I love it. Well, Coach Carty, Nick, Noah, thank you guys so much for joining me today on CUSA Insider. Good luck to the Fightin' Blue Hens all the way this season. We'll see. Maybe we'll be in Newark, Delaware here come December. That would be some fun. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks
Appreciate
so
it.
much.
Appreciate it. Go Hens.
Thank you so much to everyone at Delaware for joining the CUSA Insider Pod to begin our CUSA football preview series here on the podcast. Next up, we've got FIU on Thursday, August 6th. We'll be joined by everyone at their Media Day interview, as well as Kevin Barral, who handles some of the beat writing responsibilities for the FIU Panthers. You can see the entire upcoming schedule for our preview series here on the screen for those of you who are watching. So looking forward to our future episodes as we just really, barrel towards the beginning of football season. We are so excited here at the CUSA office. But for all future episodes, please follow us at CUSA Insider Pod on X and Instagram. You can find us on YouTube. Go to @ConferenceUSA. You'll find our CUSA Insider Pod playlist there. And then listen to us wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music. So thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Josh Yonis, signing off.